Recording? Yes, right. The idea behind switching up the permits and the parking lots themselves was to be more fair towards commuters. Because before, most of the parking lots were resident parking lots, which is very inconvenient for people who are coming in that don't live on campus.
Right.
But by switching to these Eagle permits, we allow people who live on campus to have them, we allow people off campus to have them, and it just gives people more opportunity to find parking.
So I know a few people who live in residence halls. When I was a freshman, I lived in Clark Hall, and I know that parking lot now has been converted to a commuter lot, and that residents now are parking at like Fouts Field and Victory. Do you think that's fair for residents?
The Eagle passes aren't just for commuters. They are also meant for sophomore, junior, and seniors. So almost anyone can have them. The current resident pass is primarily for freshmen, most of which are probably going to be living at Kerr or Maple or one of the other houses. So, but our hopes with doing this was to give more people more opportunities, and the residents, they don't have to worry about finding spots because there's always going to be spots, over by the field. It's a bit of a walk. It's a little bit more inconvenient, but it's more convenient for a lot more people.
Right. Now, I know that you guys sold like a limited number of passes this year to try and, reduce, like to not have, X amount of passes versus so many spaces. Do you feel like that's worked?
We do feel it has worked, yes. We're getting a lot less complaints. People are having less trouble finding parking, especially like during the day when classes are going on. People are coming in. Back, just a few years ago, it was a nightmare. You couldn't find parking at any lot on campus at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
Now you can. Because the residents that have that residence pass, they're over by the field, which freed up a whole lot of parking.
Yep.
And the Eagle, since so many lots were converted to Eagle, there's a lot more spots available than there were before.
Now, I know me and my two roommates, we live actually about 10 minutes away off 288. We have class at 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and the first week we came up here, we couldn't find parking. And so we've had to take the bus on those days. My roommate actually tried to get a refund for his permit. What would you say to those people about finding parking at 9, 10 o'clock?
It's always a good idea to show up a little bit early, but things have gotten better since the semester first launched. People are getting in the groove, learning how to park. They're not staying too long. Some people who's I'll just stay all day. No, sometimes people, they'll leave and they'll go back home. And at first, a lot of people were actually in the wrong parking lot, which was a big problem. That was my problem. I originally had a resident pass, but then I had to switch to an Eagle pass. But now that people are in the right parking lots, professors and staff know where they can park. Things have gotten better since school first started. And we've also tried our best to make getting refunds or switching parking passes as simple as possible. When I switched my parking pass, I walked in and asked, hey, can I switch? And they said, yeah, just bring us your old pass. So I took it off my car, brought it to them, and they printed me out a new Eagle pass immediately.
What is the process for getting a refund?
It literally is you call them ahead of time just to make sure everything's proper. Then you walk into the parking office, which is connected to the parking garage. Okay. You tell them, I would like a refund, or you would like to exchange your parking pass if you want a different one. And they say, okay, bring us your old parking pass. And then you tear off the physical plastic sticker, you give it to them, and they will help you out. They'll print you out a new pass, they'll help you get a refund. It's much more streamlined than it used to be.
So you can get a refund just if you aren't satisfied with if you come up here, you can't find parking, you say, I just want a refund, y'all will do that?
Yes. I do believe there's a cutoff date at a certain point, you can't,
right.
The week before school ends,
Sure.
I don't want this anymore,
Right.
Can I have my $200 back?
Okay. Now, I know that you guys added cameras to Fouts and Victory. Do you feel like those have been successful and have cut down on crime?
We feel that just having cameras up will discourage people just in case. Okay. There haven't been any major crimes reported. There haven't been very many break-ins. We do always recommend, don't leave stuff in your car, lock your car,
right.
Park it in the proper spot. But we just thought the cameras were a nice extra precaution. just in case.
As far as citations go, what's the number you have to reach to, you get a boot on your car? How does that progression work?
Can you repeat the question?
So, let's say you get like 1 or 2 citations. Like, what's the process like to get like a boot on your car, and how does the level of discipline go for each?
You get it one warning.
Okay.
You get one warning. Because if you don't have a pass and you park somewhere, at that point you're just inconveniencing everyone else. We have a very low tolerance for that. You get one warning, and then after that, if you get another one and they scan your code and they see, you've done this before, they mark your license plate, then you will get a boot.
So after your second ticket, you get a boot?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, what is it? If you have a boot and your car's parked there for too long, at that point they will tow your car.
Okay. What's the process for getting a boot removed from your car?
You're gonna have to go to the parking office, and you're gonna have to talk to them, and you'll have to pay a fine.
How much is a fine?
Off the top of my head, I do not remember. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I'll look that up.
It's not cheap.
Right. Okay. I think that's probably all. But what would you say to people? And I know that parking has always been an issue on this campus. What would you say to people who just hate it or are having difficulties?
The biggest problem is that UNT is a very big school. I think 36,000, something ridiculous.
Yeah.
And we don't have that much space.
Right.
We have built out as far as we possibly could without seriously, businesses are right over there. We can't go any further.
Sure.
So that's probably the biggest problem. We understand that that's an issue for people. We're trying our best. We're going to try and make more parking lots, more land, and find a better system for everyone parking. We just hope people follow the rules. They don't take advantage of the system. They don't, just park their car somewhere and inconvenience other people. And it's a process. We're going to get better. We're going to learn from this.
Sure.
And we're going to try and make everything better for everyone else.
Cool. That's all I have.